Hello, and welcome to the Notary Business Talk, the podcast dedicated to sharing ideas, strategies, and techniques to help grow your business and improve your life. And now, with more than 2 decades of notary business experience, your host, Abraham Zamora, the notary entrepreneur.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Notary Business Talk. My name is Abraham Zamora, and I am the Notary Entrepreneur. And in this episode, we're going to discuss how to become an Apostille Agent. And today, I have the pleasure of introducing Judi Lawrence, who is the owner and founder of the Lawrence Institute for Notaries, which is a place where she trains and educates notaries who want to learn how to do this business of apostille. She herself has been a notary for over 20 years and had been in the apostille business for 8 years. So, you know, what a great topic to talk about. It's been the buzz in the industry for a while, and Judy is the one to go to when it comes to this sort of thing. So, Judy, thank you for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I so much appreciate it, and very happy to be here.
Excellent. And I'll tell you something, guys. There's certain things I consider myself an expert in. I would say maybe being a loan signing agent, definitely general notary work. I've been making a full-time living off of those two things for the last over 20 years now. But apostille is one of those things where I'm still very curious about and I'm still learning about, which is why we have Judy on the show. So I will be an explorer with you guys on today's show. So, but Judy, one of the things that my audience that I hear from really enjoys learning and hearing about is everyone's stories, because we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same industry, doing the same kind of work. So, and a lot of people might say this is a very lonely business. You're usually on your own, driving to appointments. And so this show sort of is inspiring for a lot of people, and a lot of people can relate with one another. And so before we even get started, Judy, how did you get into the notary industry, ultimately the apostille business? Like, what have you always been an entrepreneur? What got you into this line of work to begin with?
No, I never thought I'd be an entrepreneur. I worked for a law firm for years, and I literally thought that was life, and it would be life, until they're whatever.
Sure.
And one beautiful spring day, just like you can see out my window, they called 16 of us and said, "Oh, by the way, we don't need you anymore. We're downsizing, and you are it's not necessary for you to come back tomorrow."
Wow.
And it was a terrible time in my life. I was 50.
Okay.
Didn't have any plan for, I'm single and self-supporting. Mm-hmm. Didn't have a plan for, well, what am I going to do now? And I tell people all the time, and it's become a joke with my friends, because for 6 or 7 months, the only thing I really talked about was television. And I'm a really interesting person, but all I did all day was sit here and watch television. There was literally nothing to do. I found out pretty quickly I wasn't going to get a job. People only hire very young people. And I had a great resume, but it wasn't going to happen for me that way. And then I decided that, all right, well, if I'm going to be broke and have no income coming in, and this is how it's going to be, I should sell my condo and become a renter, because, it's expensive to own a property.
Sure.
Taxes and all that stuff. So I sold my condo, and I needed a notary. I needed a woman named Vicky, who came and she signed my papers, and I paid her $125. And when she walked out the door, a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, wait a minute, I could do that. I could be a notary, and I'm already a notary. I was a notary for the firm.
Yeah.
Wow. So I went in my room, and I literally banged out a business card and said, Notary Service 100. And that is where I thought my life was going to go. I was going to become the neighborhood notary.
Uh-oh. And I think you're getting business calls now. Is that your phone going off?
No.
Oh, I thought I heard your phone going off. Oh, okay.
Nope. So anyway, another that was that. I then I went to a Tupperware party, which is, if you knew me, you know how funny that is because I don't even go inside my kitchen. But I did a friend a favor and I went to a Tupperware party and I met this woman and she said, I'm going to tell you what to do.
With your
You
notary commission.
become a loan signing agent.
Because you had been trying for a while to hand out business cards and kind of grow your business.
I was handing out business cards, but it was for like, the notary downstairs
Yeah.
or across the street, but it wasn't an income.
Right.
Anything. So she said, this is what you're going to do. And she wrote down on a piece of paper, like 5 signing companies. And she said, call these places. They're going to want you because you have a lot of good background, a lot of good experience. You're a people person, I said, okay. So the next day I did it. And I got work almost immediately. And I don't know how, because I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew enough. I knew enough to know where you signed. I mean, I'd been dealing with documents my whole life.
Of course, right.
So I knew enough to know what a mortgage was and what a deed was. I mean, I guess I knew more than the average person because they all started calling me.
Right.
And I became a signing agent.
It's such an interesting story because a lot of notaries sort of end up joining the industry or becoming notaries by chance, right? I mean, most people don't know what a notary is to begin with. And I don't think most notaries, I always say this, most notaries don't grow up telling their mom and dad, I want to be a notary when I grow up.
I want to be a notary. No,
yeah, no. So it's very interesting. It's almost always by chance.
We don't.
Yeah.
And then you find out that it's such a good profession.
Right.
And it's such an honorable profession. If you're an honorable person and if you have integrity, it's such a great profession, So the rest is kind of history. I met this man and he was going to sell his business and I ended up buying it. And it was a brick and mortar kind of business. And he was very old.
Okay.
He was 85 years old. And his way of saying what kind of sales he had for the day were member sticks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like he didn't have a computer. He didn't want one. But he had a nice name. Center City Notary. It was a nice name. And I ended up buying that name and I ended up fixing that up. And then I think that the real turning point for me was Bill Soroka, because somehow or other I got lucky and Bill found me in this world. And he called me one day and he said, I want to do a podcast with you.
Okay.
And we did. And people started knowing my name. Really true. People started knowing my name and that relationship, he is my mentor, he is my friend, and that relationship has brought me to different levels of business that I'm really lucky, very blessed.
That's an incredible story. Now, how did you go from then? So that was the notary, and then you transitioned into apostille. How'd that happen?
Because people were coming in and they were wanting an apostille, and I don't know how to do it. And I finally said to a friend of mine, I got to learn this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there were no Judi Lawrences. There were 1 or 2 trainers out there. I'm kind of a sponge. So I kind of listened to people. And then I was lucky because a couple people offered some good advice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I tell people, maybe I'm going off the track a little bit, but I tell people that when you're looking for training, talk to the person that you're looking to train with.
Yeah, of course.
Don't just say, oh, he was so cute, I'm gonna go train with him, or she was so funny, I'm gonna go train with her. Don't do that. Talk to them, find out where they came from, how long ago they started doing it.
Right.
What do they have to take you to the next level? We have lots of people who do a few loan signings, and then they go out on Facebook and say, I'm a trainer now.
Right.
I'm a trainer and I can train you. And maybe they can. So I'm not Debbie Downer here. Maybe they can. But I don't think they can train you as well as somebody who's been out in the trenches and probably has 16 stories to tell you about the mistakes they made.
Of course. Yeah, no, of course.
The mistakes are an important thing.
And there's so many trainers now out there, which is really nice because when you and I started, Judy, I mean, it was kind of, I mean, I remember I used to carry a pager around, right? And so I didn't even have a cell phone. If I was going to get an order, I would get paged, then I would have to run to a phone to call the number back. I mean, we've come such a long way. And I think it's great that there are so many trainers, but you're absolutely right. This is a good point to make. And here's the thing. They all may even have the same information for the most part, but even their style of training or the way they teach, it's different,
it's all
right?
about style.
And yeah, one might be better than the other for you. So
and I tell people all the time, like, I'm a chatty trainer. I'll share funny stories with them about what happened to me and how I learned and there might be somebody who says that's too much talking for me.
Yeah.
I just want to do it online all by myself. That's why we offer it online and me. So we offer it both ways. So if people want to do it online and they just want to do it that way, that's fine. And if they want to listen to me, that's fine. Because everybody learns different.
Sure.
People call me Abraham and they say, so if I take your course, how long will it be before I can actually make money? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't answer that question. I don't know. Because if you were me, it would take you about 5 minutes, because when I make up my mind to something, I don't sleep or eat. I just dive in and I learn it.
Yeah.
And I do it. But there are some people who need a little more of a paced learning.
Right. Yeah.
And so I don't know.
Yeah. And I do have an answer for that question.
Okay.
It depends.
Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. It depends. I don't know. And I have sometimes been in my classes with people, and I can tell you that they're gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
Because that's what they want to do, and they kind of have fallen in love with the business. And then sometimes it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Now, Judy, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's ask the question everyone's wondering about.
Okay.
What the heck is an apostille?
Okay. So I told you about this podcast that I did with Bill Soroka.
Right.
And like you, he prepares you, a few minutes before. I did not know Bill then. And he said, so tell me, Judy, what is an apostille? Now, we weren't on the air. He said, now tell me, Judy, what is an apostille? And I probably talked for like 10 minutes. Well, it's blah, 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 and yeah, blah, blah. And he said, Judy, 2 sentences. What is an apostille? And I said, well, an apostille is the cover attached to a document that allows it to be used in a foreign country. He said, there we are.
There we go.
And ever since then, that's what I tell my classes, because that's what it is. There's a lot of variables. There are federal documents. There are non-federal documents. There are people who live abroad. There are many, many variables.
Right.
So I couldn't, if I wanted to, tell you all of the variables. But what I can tell you is, if you learned loan signing and you went out, and if you were anything like me, and apparently we are somewhat similar.
Sure.
I went out with my stickies, sign here, initial here, make sure the client does that. I had so many notes, and the night before I would put all the notes on. Did you do that? I did.
Oh,
I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was going to somebody's house that I didn't know, and I was responsible, and oh my God. And then about a month later, I said, I don't need notes, and I know exactly. And apostilles is the same thing. For the first couple months, you really have to use. I have checklists. I have checklists of like what do you need for this? What do you need for that? You got to use them,
Sure.
and then your own self, excuse me, will tell you, I don't need them anymore. I know what I'm doing, and I've got it.
So here, and this is why, and we were talking off the air, like you mentioned earlier, and we were talking about why being a notary and apostille agent, apostille agent works so well. But by the way, it's not apostille, it's apostille. I just learned that today. Judy.
It's a French word for certification.
For certification, right. And so,
you already learned, see?
that's it. This is why you guys listen to this podcast, because you guys are learning so much. But so she gave me a list, and here's some of the reasons why someone might need an apostille, right? Things we don't even think about. It's a whole new world, right? That people don't really realize that this stuff is needed. And so it's kind of like being a notary. Most people don't even know what a notary is until they need something notarized. And yet here we are listening to podcasts and taking 10,000 courses on the subject. So, but let's say you're going to go work in another country, or you're going to go to school in a different country, you need documents that need to be certified to be able to be used in that school, that work. Let's just say you want to go to Mexico, Cabo San Lucas, and get married on the beach. That sounds nice, Judy. Would you do that again if you were to get married? Go to the beach?
Oh, probably. I would like that, but you probably want me to tell you what I told you before we went on the air, which is a lot of people say, "Why should I do this? I mean, is there work for me?"
The apostille stuff.
Apostilles, is there? So I use destination weddings as an example, and there were last year 360,000 destination weddings reported in the United States, like going out of the United States.
Wow.
And the average destination wedding is 2 apostilles. So 360,000 and 360,000 is 720,000. Okay?
Yeah.
So when I teach my class, I say to them, okay, put a 1 in the chat if you did 720,000 documents last year. And of course, everybody laughs. I said, all right, maybe I'm hitting too high here. So let me say, put a 2 in the chat if you did 200,000 documents last year. And they still laugh. And I said, that's why there's work for everyone.
Yeah.
There's work for all of us. People said to me when I decided to teach this thing, people said to me, why are you doing this? You're creating your whole competition. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm really not, because there's enough work out there for all of us, and there is. But you have to do it correctly.
Would you say, unlike notary work, it's not as saturated yet with people doing this, apostille agents?
Well, they call me a trailblazer. And they say that since I began this journey, a lot of people are liking it and wanting to do it. I just hit the mark on Facebook in my group of 3,000 people. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna show an image here. So Judy shared this image with me, and I don't know. Does that show up, Judy, on the Zoom?
Yeah, that's just a sample of a Michigan apostille. And what I want to show you is this. It has the Great Seal of Michigan in a circle, and it kind of at the top, it kind of curls on the top. This is Michigan. In Alabama, it's white with gold. In Florida, it's greenish gray. It's always different.
Okay.
Every state has their own way. Every state has their own seal, their own crest. It's always different.
So every state has their own way of certifying foreign documents. And this is specific for Michigan. So let me ask you this: what is it's a double question. What exactly do we do as apostille agents? And then if you can give the answer, on average, like how much can you charge to do something like this?
Well, I can't give the answer of how much do you charge, because I would be accused of price fixing.
Oh.
So I'm going to answer that question first.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm going to give you a really good answer.
Okay.
is what the market bears
Okay.
in your state. So where are you from, Abraham? Where in California are you from?
I'm in Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it kind of an upscale, expensive area?
Yeah, I would say it's middle upper class. Yeah.
Okay. So how much, if you went out in the morning and you and your wife went out and you just wanted to get bagel and a cup of coffee, how much would it cost you?
Bagel and a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You're looking at like $12-13 out here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In New York, that same bagel and that same cup of coffee is 30.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Okay. So you're saying 13. I'm saying New York is 30. I'm Pennsylvania, where I am, probably 6 or 7. So why I'm saying it like that is because I can't charge what the guy in New York can charge.
Right.
And the guy in New York can't charge what perhaps you can charge. So everyone needs to do their homework and figure out, what does the market bear for you?
Okay.
So
excellent.
That was the second part of your question. I don't remember the first part.
Yeah. So what exactly is it that we do as apostille agents?
Oh, you're the glue. You get everything. You get everything up to the Secretary of State or the Department of State or the embassy. You're in charge of making sure that it doesn't get rejected.
So walk me through it. So
It's too
much.
I will tell you that you have to know the right amount of copies, that it was signed properly, that it was notarized properly, and you're the glue. You're the one that's going to get it up to the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State's going to say, boom, instead of boom.
Got it. Okay. So now that makes sense. So you're selling your knowledge to unknowing clients who need this stuff done, and
you don't want to do it themselves.
Who don't want to do it themselves, because they could do it themselves if they wanted to.
They can, but they don't want to.
Yeah, it's like me doing jail weddings. I do, one of the things I specialize in is marrying people who want to marry someone inside the jail, and there's a whole process to getting the certain documents signed, notarized. There's certain kind of paperwork
you do a lot
required.
of that?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's I'd say it's 10%, 15% of my business.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's there, and it's something I advertise for. But right, there's a lot of stuff that if you make one mistake, the whole thing gets rejected.
They reject you.
Yeah, they reject you. Okay.
They reject you.
So as an apostille agent, someone says, I need this document with an apostille, and you say, sure. And then you basically handle and manage the paperwork, the copies,
everything.
Send it
We teach you how to handle everything.
That goes to the Secretary of State, and then it comes back after a couple days, a week or whatever, 2 weeks.
And then if it's federal, it might have to go to DC. So we teach the process.
Got it. And then you're the way you finish your services, and you turn that back into the client and say, okay, it's done. Here you go. You're ready to go. Have a nice day. Pay me, please.
Have a nice day.
Yeah,
right.
Got it. Okay.
And they always come back for more.
Oh.
If you got it done on time, and you got it done properly, and you showed really good customer service, they'll come back again.
Do you have clients that are like in Notary, for example, where you have an attorney's office who uses you regularly? Are there certain organizations, businesses that would use you regularly?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you give an example?
Pharmaceutical companies.
Pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, because they have patents all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that happens regularly enough to be consistent?
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. Wow. Okay. All right, good. Well, I got to tell you, I came into this interview, Judy, not really knowing, in essence, what it is an apostille agent does. But I got to say, you've definitely helped me clear it up in a very short amount of time here. So thank you for that. Now, so then someone who wants to become an apostille agent, I know we talked about this. The question would be, is there any special education, training, background stuff?
We have a wonderful course. It is actually being upgraded as we speak, because it's a year and a half old, and we learn a lot. So we're upgrading and updating, and if you took the present course, you would still be entitled to the new course when it's ready. And I also, so that I have study halls once a month. So the people that are learning can come learn with other people who are learning, and they ask each other questions, and study halls are really fun.
Sure.
Then I have an advanced study hall for people who already learned the basic stuff and they want to do the advanced study hall. And we're thinking about possibly a few other things. I write books for them. Pardon me, excuse me. I would not, I would, I don't know how to tell you, but I would never take someone's money and have them invest their time and then leave them.
Right.
That's just not me.
Yeah.
They're there. When they join my group, we have a Thursday afternoon meeting every Thursday afternoon. It's called Talk About It Thursday. We call it TAIT, T-A-I-T. And it's for Apostille people who just want to come talk about Apostilles.
Awesome.
And they just want to come and they just want to say, like, I got a quote. I had a quote today and I didn't get the job. And then we all try to figure out, why didn't they get the job?
Okay.
Maybe they waited too long to call the client back, or maybe sometimes the clients call and they're just shopping.
Right.
They're just shopping.
Sure.
And I get it all the time. They're shopping. And there isn't much you can do. I have to tell you, I got a call at 10 o'clock last night. And the guy has several. And he said, well, I really don't have to call around anymore, because anybody that answers the phone at 10 o'clock at night and talks to me for 15 minutes, I'll go with you.
Right.
So it's customer service. It's, it's getting on the phone and talking to them, knowing that they may not use you.
Right.
They may find the guy down the street who's doing it 35 cents cheaper, and that may be their answer.
Yeah, and I know one of the things we talked about is you don't have to be a notary to do apostille, right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And then in terms of actual required certifications, education, there really isn't any, unlike...
There isn't, but we give a good certification, and a lot of people like to see it.
Right.
They do. They like to see it. A client sees it on the wall and they like it, and so we do. And you have to take a test. I mean, we don't give you the certification just because we like you.
Right, of course. I'm just saying in general, so people understand, unlike notary where you have to, in some states, take a test, and in some places you have to have a background check. Here, that's not necessarily the case. You could start technically tomorrow and start offering apostille services if you're like Judy.
Don't say that.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Don't say that, well,
what I was going to say is, I'm just going to say, if you're like Judy, who learns in 5 minutes and stays up all night, which is...
Not 5 minutes, but...
Well, that's what you had said.
You have to be. I recently asked my students, I'm going to ask you, would you prefer sitting in one long group for 4 hours or 4.5 hours, or would you prefer 2 times, part 1 and part 2? And it was a study in life to get the answers. Because one girl said, not me, I want to sit down, I want to do the whole thing in one day, I want to carve out a day, and I want to do it, and I want to learn it. And then one guy said, he said, my derriere can't take 4.5 hours. Oh, no. And everybody said something different. Some people said, oh, yeah, make it 3, because those people, they don't have that much to do right now. So, it's learning at your own pace. And of course, we give you the course online. So if you want to do it all at one time, nobody's going to stop you.
Of course. So let's just say someone decides, okay, you know what? I want to do apostille. I want to add this service to add more value to my clients and make more money at the same time. What advice would you give someone who is interested in becoming an apostille agent?
I would say get training.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to say get my training because it's the best in the country. But, I'm realistic enough to know there are other trainers. And like I said earlier, talk to the trainer. Ask questions. You wouldn't go to a doctor and have a doctor help you if you didn't read about the doctor. You wouldn't go to a doctor who the thing said, well, Dr. Zamora has been doing this for 24 hours and he's had 2 successful surgeries in that 24 hours, but we think he's going to be great. Maybe you would. I don't think I would. I think I'd wait till Dr. Zamora had 5 successful surgeries. I'm only teasing you. But you want to talk, if you want general notary work and you talk to Laura Buer, she's been doing it for 18 years and she has so many different courses and things that she offers. So, but I would still say talk to Laura and ask her, this is who I am and how would you get me to the next level?
Right. Right.
You know, and now we have fingerprinting and permit running and we have I just did a presentation on diversification, and I had 14 different. We have wedding officiants. We have so much that a notary can do.
Right.
You know, Apostilles, Ron is so big right now.
Of course.
So you know, we do, and I always tell people, but just learn something. Take 2 things. Don't take all 14 things.
Yeah.
Take 2 things and put on your calendar 4 months, and in 4 months decide, I hate that, I love that. I love them both. I don't need anything else. You know, but just try to figure out what's going to be best for you, because you know we work a long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we work a lot of hours. And most of us work to make a substantial income.
Yeah. That's why we're doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's never been a better time to be a notary with so many opportunities that are around us.
So many.
It's incredible.
You know, I'm on the faculty of Notary Business Builder, which has 20 instructors now and all kinds of courses, and my courses, and there's others. There's others. I mean, you know, we don't live in a blind world where we say, oh, I'm the only trainer in the country. I think I am, but you don't have to. So, and we have lots to offer, and you're more than welcome to check out my website, which is lawrenceinstitutefornotaries.com. And what other questions can I answer for you?
Well, I'll just finish with this. I know you were talking. You're saying that now Apostille work is about 70% of your business. Is that right?
Yep.
That's phenomenal.
Because I get a lot of referrals, you know, and then I get a lot of people that come back.
Yeah.
Because they like the service. You know, I'm a big customer service fan.
Of course.
I'm a big customer service fan. The nicer you treat them, the more they'll come back.
Absolutely. Now you already mentioned your website. Where else can people learn more about Apostille and learn about you and kind of what you do? Where could you link?
I have a book. It's called The Apostille Agent's Survival Guide.
Okay.
And that's available on Amazon.
Okay.
And I have 2 other books. One's called Jitters. Jitters is, I took all these courses and I did all these things, and now I got somebody on the phone and I don't know what to do. So you got the jitters. So we tell you how to not have the jitters. And the new one, which just came out yesterday, was called Oops. I love that name. And I made a mistake. Now, what can I do to fix it? And most importantly, how do I turn that mistake into an opportunity? And
awesome.
And they're all available on Amazon. Oops is going to be formally introduced to the world on August 31st. And if I could plug one more thing.
Sure.
September 29th.
Okay.
Through October 1st, I am hosting with Amy Seitz. I am hosting my 3rd Philly Social 2023. And we are having 12 speakers from all over the country fly into Philadelphia. And we have a 2-day jam-packed agenda. We have Bill, and we have Celicia Young Jones, and Sue Hope, and Vanessa Terry, and Daniel Lewis, and the list goes. And we have 3 secretaries of state people coming, and we've got a lot going on. So that is something that you think you would enjoy, and there's some good social stuff too.
Okay, and this is people who are if it's a live event in the Philly area, is that what it is?
It's
awesome.
A live event in the Philly area. Abraham, you are more than welcome. And any of you that happen to be listening to this, the first two were fabulous. I think this one is going to be even better. And then I'll tell you a secret if you don't tell Amy I told you.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Well, just don't tell Amy I told you, because then she'll holler at me.
It's just between you and me
I don't
then.
like to be hollered at.
Just between you and me and my 1,000 listeners. Go ahead.
Yeah, your 1,000 listeners. Next year, we're going to take Philly Social on the road.
Oh.
And we don't know yet to where. It's still going to be called Philly Social.
Okay.
That's what it is. But Philly Social may like travel a little bit, like I'm really thinking about DC.
All right.
Yeah.
DC's beautiful, yeah.
But I don't get, final say. But anyway, it's www.phillysocial2023.com. Starts out on Friday night with a cocktail. And then we work all day Saturday, we work all day Sunday. Saturday night, we have all kinds of stuff going on. And Sunday, we have a big closing party. So it's fun, and you'll get to meet all kinds of really interesting people, and you're all invited.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Judy. And also, by the way, if Apostille is something you're interested in, something that is something that makes sense for you right now, and it's something you're willing to actually get into learning at the moment, then Judy was very generous to offer a 10% discount for anyone who is interested in her course, and I will have a link to that in my show notes description, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it should be in the descriptions below. So look out for that. Otherwise, Judy, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a pleasure having you. I've learned a lot. Thank you for being here.
Please take my course.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. I think I will be doing that. Thank you.
I'll come to Philly Social.
Oh, that's true. I'll check my schedule. I think I might have something during that time, but I will definitely check it. Anyway, Judy, thanks again. And for the rest of you, I hope you enjoyed this show. And until next time, be well, take care, and stay productive. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye now.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Notary Business Talk. To learn more about becoming a notary entrepreneur, or to find out how Abraham can help you achieve your business goals, visit notarybusinesstalk.com.